Hey guys, so Lil Skies just released his debut album Shelby March 1st. It has 14 songs and it runs for 43 minutes. The album cover, we see a Polaroid with Lil Skies as a baby and he's been held up to the camera by his mother. The album is also named after his mother, who's Shelby. And we see a butterfly in the lower left corner, and the butterfly is representative of transformation and change. And basically from his birth until now, he's undergone several changes, which is, reminiscent of a butterfly's life. It starts off as a caterpillar, then as time goes on, it ends up, forming a cocoon, and then it comes out as a butterfly. So I thought that was a perfect motif, for his album. And I also thought it was pretty cool for him to, name his debut album after his mother, whom has been like his support system and ultimately like his backbone, as he says. But anyways, moving on, singles, we have track 1, I, and we have track 13, Name in the Sand. Standouts, we have I, which is the lead single. On his record, Skies discusses a past relationship that hurt him, losing a close friend, the industry, and depression. He says, I don't want to get close. I haven't been the same since I lost love that hoe. Haven't been the same since I lost my bro. I say I'm gonna change when I know I won't. I get high, I love to smoke. I don't want the fame, I don't want to play these games. Tired of hiding from the pain. So, in the beginning of that, he speaks to not wanting to get close, meaning he doesn't want to get too comfortable with another woman only for them to end up breaking his heart again. So he's pretty much put up sort of a wall to, protect his feelings. And then he says, I haven't been the same since I lost my bro. And this could be in reference to Triple X, who passed away last year. They were very close, and you see tweets that Skies will post, in support of him. So he hasn't been the same since he lost his bro. So I'm pretty sure he's speaking to Triple X, though it could be someone else. And then he says, I'm saying I'm gonna change when I know I won't. Basically, he's stuck in his ways of, numbing his pain with drugs and alcohol, which he discusses a lot of that throughout the album. He's also dealing with depression and stuff too. And then he says, I don't want the fame. I don't want to play these games. Meaning he rather, be, to himself than to be, in the public eye. Which, if you've seen the music video, you see him sitting on the couch, and between him you see two guys in suits, which is representative of the fame. You have all these people pulling you in different directions, but all you really want to do is live your life and not have to worry about, being harassed and going through, the BS games and politics that is the music industry. And then he says, tired of hiding from the pain of having the weight of the world on his shoulders, depression, and all of the other, type of struggles he's dealing with within his personal life. So to start off, I thought it's pretty interesting to start the album off with the single, and I is a perfect way to start off an album, especially in an album that's, giving the audience a look into who you are as a person. But anyways, moving on, we have track 4, Nowadays Part 2, featuring Landon Cube. It's a record about loyalty, hard work, and dedication. We have track 8, Okay for Now. Skies discusses a girl breaking his heart, which caused him to reevaluate his feelings about love. He says, put my pride to the side, don't want to let you down, take my heart and crush it, leave it splattered on the ground. Your love is like a bomb, from a distance, hear the sound. So right here, he's basically speaking to, putting his ego and his pride aside to, make his girl feel comfortable and making sure that she's, loved and everything, and he does all of this. He's basically saying he doesn't want to let her down. He doesn't want to do anything to hurt her, and she ends up taking him for granted and ultimately breaking his heart by doing him dirty. And then he says, "Hey, where did we go wrong? Seems like everything changed. Shawty used to be my main thing. Let her walk with me on the stage." So right here, he's talking about how in the beginning of the relationship, everything was cool, but after a certain period of time, her feelings for him changed, and he's wondering, what he did wrong for her to ultimately, go in this direction. And he used to bring her out on the road when he would perform and stuff like that. And then he says, "Moved on and you still throwing shade. Back in the day. Leave it back in the day. On to the future. I learned from mistakes. Playing for keeps. I'm not playing it safe." So he's basically showing some type of recovery and growth from the situation. He's basically saying he's moved on from that relationship, but yet the person that he was involved with is throwing shade at him for whatever reason, and he wants to leave that in the past and to focus on his future. And going forward, he learned from that past relationship and he's not going to make the same mistakes. We have track 9, "When I'm Wasted." It's a record about catching a vibe when Skies partakes in drugs and alcohol and not wanting to be burdened with drama and BS. This is probably one of my favorite tracks on the album. It has a real good vibe to it. We have track 12, "Highs and Lows." Skies details his battles with depression while giving context to the good and bad times in his life. And we have track 13, "Name in the Sand." It's the second single. Skies expresses his love for a girl whom at times he looks to for reassurance and to lift his spirit. He says, "Need your love, it's my drug. When I'm down, lift me up." So basically that's the reassurance part and, lifting him up. He says, "This for life, no more games. Feel the vibe through your pain. You're so clutch, you're so clutch. Fuck me up, me and you, Bonnie, Clyde. We gonna ride to survive. No breakups, no breakups, no breakups, no breakups." So basically the girl he's seeing right now, he feels that she and him are reminiscent of Bonnie and Clyde, who was, the famous couple that went around, I think it was robbing banks and stuff together, and their bond is that tight. And he wants to, ride the relationship until the wheels fall off, and he doesn't want to break up because he's been through that and he doesn't want to experience that type of, pain again. So as you can see from these tracks right here, we get basically an inside look into the life of Skies, what he deals with on a day-to-day basis and some of the past experiences he's had and what he's learned from those experiences. Sleepers, we have track 3, "Breathe." We have track 6, "Blue Strips." We have "Stop the Madness" featuring Gunna. We have "Mansion," "Through the Motions," and "No Rainy Days." Skips for this album, we have "Bad Girls" featuring Gucci Mane. And we have track 5, "Flooded." My personal favorites for this album are track 1, "I," track 4, "Nowadays," part 2 featuring Landon Cube, and "When I'm Wasted." And overall conclusion, we basically get introduced to Demetrius Foos, which is Lil Skies, his real name. We get an in-depth look into his life, particularly his battles with depression. Throughout the album, he speaks to battling with depression, and he copes with that through alcohol and different types of drugs, mainly lean. Specifically on tracks like "Through the Motions" and other tracks as well, such as "Highs and Lows." So we get a look into that. And depression is something that that I see from a lot of the newer artists. They struggle with depression, and 9 times out of 10 they usually cope with that depression, with drugs and alcohol, mainly lean. And I think, being so young and being thrown into a life of fast money, women, and all this attention, it could be a lot. And as he said, in one of the songs, it's like having the weight of the world on your shoulders, because once you get to that level in your life, you sort of become like um like the breadwinner and the pillar that holds up your family. So a lot of that can contribute to depression if the person was already depressed anyway. And I noticed some similarities to his mixtape Life of Rose, particularly the number of tracks is 14 for both, and the runtime is basically probably 2 minutes shorter. I think Life of Rose had a runtime of 41 minutes, and this album has a runtime of about 43 minutes. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I wonder if that was something that was purposely done or if it was just a coincidence, but I thought that was pretty interesting. And I gave the project a 12 out of 14, which comes out to an 85%. So overall, it was a pretty solid effort put forth by him. But anyways, guys, if you're a fan of Lil Skies, be sure to buy his album, stream it. If you enjoy my review, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.